The silence in the car after a first date that felt more like a job interview. The text message that never arrives. The slow, creeping realization that she sees you as a great guy, but not a man she desires. You have a story about this, a clean, simple story. You tell yourself that modern dating is broken, that the apps are rigged, that women are confusing, or that their expectations are impossible. You search for answers out there. You look for better techniques, better opening lines, a better strategy to solve the puzzle of attraction. This story is a comfort. It shields you from the nagging, quiet question that keeps you up at night. What if the problem is me? But in this video, we are not going to look for answers out there. We are going to look in the one place you have been expertly trained to avoid. Because the pattern of rejection you're experiencing is not bad luck. It is a broadcast. It is a signal coming from a part of you so deeply hidden you don't even know it exists. Here is the truth. She didn't reject you. She couldn't. Because you were never fully there. She sat across from a carefully constructed mask, a hollow man, and felt the unnerving emptiness behind the eyes. She felt the absence of the very thing that makes a man real, that makes him magnetic, that makes him desired. The thing that was absent is your shadow, and your dating life is not a victim of its existence. It is a casualty of its abandonment. The first step is a confession that will reframe every romantic failure you have ever had. You must admit that the awkward silences, the lack of chemistry, and the eventual ghosting are not things that are happening to you. They are things you are creating. You must confess that the reason your conversations feel like interviews is because you have exiled your own raw, masculine desire. You were taught that desire is predatory, that it is aggressive, so you buried it. In its place, you offer polite, sterile questions. You become an inquisitor instead of a suitor. She feels interrogated, not desired, because the part of you that truly wants her is locked in a cage, and she can hear it rattling. You must confess that the reason you are always put in the friend zone is because you have disowned your own assertiveness. You were told to be agreeable, to be a nice guy. So you amputated your own spine. You let her decide everything. You agree with every opinion. You become a mirror, a pleasing echo. A woman cannot give herself over to a man who has no direction. She does not see a partner. She sees a project, a man to be managed, not one to be met. This is the foundational admission. The emptiness she feels from you is the echo of your own inner emptiness. The parts of you that you have rejected, your desire, your aggression, your darkness, your unwavering conviction, are the very ingredients of attraction. You have starved yourself of your own life force, and you are surprised when she is not drawn to the ghost you present at the table. Once you confess your role in the failure, we must ask the question, why? Why do we do this? Why do we show up to the most important moments of our lives as an incomplete version of ourselves? The why is the story of your mask. From your earliest days, you learned that to be loved, to be accepted, you had to perform. You built a persona, a good boy mask. This mask was rewarded. It was polite. It was agreeable. It didn't cause trouble. It got good grades. It was praised by your mother and tolerated by your father. It was the you that was safe. But there was another you, a more dangerous you, the you that felt fierce flashes of anger, the you that had inconvenient and selfish desires, the you that wanted to dominate, to win, to take. This was the unacceptable you. This was the you that was met with a disapproving look, a sharp word, a moment of shame. So you did what any child would do to survive. You took that vital, chaotic, authentic part of yourself and you locked it in the cellar of your psyche. This collection of exiled energies is your shadow. When you go on a date, you don't go alone. You bring the mask, the persona, and you bring the muffled sounds from the cellar. You present the mask to her. It smiles. It asks the right questions. It is perfectly non-threatening. But a woman's intuition is a finely tuned instrument. It is designed to detect not just what is there, but what is not. She sits across from your mask and she feels a void. She feels the lack of substance. She feels that your compliments are hollow because they are disconnected from real desire. She feels that your agreeableness is a weakness because it is disconnected from a real spine. She is not rejecting your mask. She is repelled by the incompleteness it represents. The thing she is looking for, the thing that creates polarity and sparks attraction, is the very energy you have locked away. The shadow is the engine, and you are trying to win a race by polishing the hood of a car with no engine inside. To get the engine back online is the great work of a man's life. It is not about letting the monster run wild. It is about bringing it out of the cellar, cleaning it off, and integrating it into the driver's seat of your life. This is the practical work. It is done in 4 acts. First is the act of brutal honesty. You must look at your dating history not as a series of isolated events, but as a data set. What is the recurring pattern? Do your dates always feel like therapy sessions for her? You have likely exiled your own needs. Do they always feel formal and stiff? You have likely exiled your playfulness and spontaneity. Find the pattern. The pattern is the signature of your shadow. Second is the act of naming the exile. Give the exiled part a name. Is it the beast, your raw, untamed desire? Is it the critic, your ruthless judgment? Is it the fool, your chaotic, playful self? By giving it a name, you acknowledge it as a real part of you, not just a vague flaw. You are moving from shame to recognition. This is the first step toward relationship. Third is the act of the secret dialogue. This work is done alone, in the privacy of your own mind or a journal. You must speak to this exiled part. Ask the beast, what do you truly want? You may find it doesn't want destruction. It wants passion, life, and to feel intensely. Ask the critic, what are you trying to protect me from? You may find it isn't trying to be cruel, but to protect you from mediocrity. You must listen to its answers without judgment. You are negotiating a truce with a lost part of your own soul. Fourth is the act of risky expression. This is the most crucial step. You must take a small, calculated risk to let a piece of your shadow into the light in a low-stakes situation. If you have exiled your assertiveness, the next time a friend asks where you want to eat, don't say, I don't care. Make a choice. State your desire. If you have exiled your critical opinion, the next time you're watching a movie with someone, instead of just agreeing that it was good, voice what you actually thought was weak about it. Feel the discomfort. That discomfort is the feeling of integration. It is the feeling of becoming more whole. This process leads to a fundamental transformation. The goal is not to get better at dating. The goal is to become a man whose very presence is an answer to the questions she hasn't even asked. The man who has begun to integrate his shadow is magnetic, not because he is using a new technique, but because he is real. His presence has weight and density. When he gives a compliment, it lands with the force of a thunderclap because it is backed by the full weight of his integrated, authentic desire. It is not a line. It is a statement of fact. When he disagrees with her, he does it from a place of solid self-respect, not antagonism. This doesn't push her away. It gives her something to push against, to trust, to respect. He creates the polarity that is the very essence of attraction. His vulnerability is no longer a weakness. It is a display of immense strength, the courage to show his complete self, light and dark, without apology. You will know the work is taking hold when your focus shifts. You stop asking, "What do I need to do to make her like me?" And you start existing as a man who knows what he wants and is unafraid to be who he is. The great secret of attraction is this: a woman is not attracted to perfection. She is attracted to substance. She is attracted to a man who is not at war with himself. Befriend your shadow, integrate its power. Do this not to get the girl, but to become the man you were always meant to be, the kind of man for whom a deep, passionate, and fulfilling relationship is not a prize to be won, but the natural, inevitable consequence of his own wholeness.